Well, good morning and welcome to an absolutely gorgeous Holme Fen in Cambridgeshire. It's absolutely beautiful this morning. I popped up here to pick up a camera from my good friend Darren Knight, who's very kindly offered to lend me a Canon 80D with a few lenses until I get my camera sorted out. And the mist this morning in here is absolutely fantastic. It was a bit of a trek getting here. There are a few fallen trees, I think, caused by Storm Francis or maybe Storm Ellen previously. But now we're here. Oh my God, it's so amazing this morning. And I've literally walked, probably 10 minutes into the little woodland here. And I'm stood in this clearing and there are probably a good 3, 4, maybe more compositions without really even moving my tripod more than about 10 feet. So behind me here, we've got this tree, this sort of bent over leaning tree. And through to the back of that, you've got the mist in the clearing. And you've got this other larger tree on the left-hand side. So you put the leaning tree leaning into the shot on the right-hand side. And the other tree on the left-hand side is like an anchor, if you will. And that looks fantastic with a bit of mist in the background. And then you turn around 90 degrees and you've got this scene behind me here where you've got this slightly leaning tree in the middle here. These 2 trees, 2 out of the 3 birch trees on the left-hand side. Another birch tree on the right, and then looking through to a couple of birch tree trunks in between. Absolutely fantastic, that shot there. And then if you turn around another 90 degrees, you've got another tree here that looks absolutely gorgeous with a few birch trees behind it. Just fantastic, absolutely amazing. And just like that, the mist is gone, completely gone. Within 5 minutes, it's gone from being completely misty to completely clear. Blue skies above, sun burned through, but that's just the way it goes. So the moral of the story is, when you get some mist, make the most of it. So I've stood here, as I said before, in one location with the mist here, and I think I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 images. 4 images, all hopefully compositions that I'm happy with, from one spot. Got in there, took the shots, mist disappeared. Hey ho, move on. Now it's time to try and, do some do some real photography if you like, where it's a bit more tricky because you've got no mist to play with. When you got the mist, well, it's easy, isn't it? So now the mist is gone, this is when the real photography brain has to kick in, and you have to start finding compositions that don't rely on a bit of a background separation, I guess. So onwards and upwards. So all the light essentially is coming through behind you, looking over that way. So naturally, I'm going to be shooting that way, completely ignoring it for some reason, even though it's absolutely gorgeous light. But I was just attracted here to this tree that's sort of on the right-hand side of this path as it runs through. And do you know, I've never been bothered at all about greens until this summer. And all of a sudden this summer, I suddenly have this thing now for greens, and I think the greens, the tones of the greens over here are just fantastic. You've got one tone on that tree, you've got another tone on these ferns, you've got another tone on the path, and then you've got more tones as you head back through the image. And yeah, I think they're set off really well as well against the white trunks of the birch, but I've never really been that bothered before, so I can't really explain why, but I just like this scene. So I've just stepped off the pathway for a second and just walked out into this little clearing here. And what drew my attention in the first place was the light in here, but secondly, once I got a bit further in, the thing that drew my attention really was this beautiful arching or leaning birch tree here behind me, and I'm using that in this shot here. I've got these ferns that make a lovely sort of lower sort of eighth of the image, and then you've got this beautiful silver birch here. You've got another tree that's sort of got like a little double trunk heading up, and then another couple of birches over off into the background. There are little smatterings of light in the back, but which I'll have to get rid of in post. But again, just a lovely sort of late summer, early autumn woodland scene, nice and green, with the white of the birch trunks again, just really making this shot gorgeous. And I'm just looking through the back here as well, and there's three birches sort of sitting through here together, and I wonder if I could get a sort of another bit of a letterbox shot with these. I'm just going to turn the camera around and see what I can do with these ones. As I was mentioning, I just turned around and focused on these three birches here, and it's just beautiful. It's just there's something just really nice about it. And there's a slightly darker birch on the right hand side, and I really like these strong verticals when you're shooting in a landscape format. I think they work really well. I think if you turned it and made it portrait with the verticals going up, you know, sort of almost in line, if you like, with the portrait shot, it doesn't work quite as well. But when you have them stacked across and you're using a landscape, I think it's a much stronger feature in the image. So yeah, I really like that. I think it looks lovely. Now there are an awful lot of fallen trees around here, some of them quite newly fallen I think, and that might be because of Storm Ellen or Storm Francis, which has just passed through the country. You know, it's a bit of a shame to see so many beautiful birches down, but I guess that's just nature and that's just life, and that's the way it happens, and those downed trees will probably you know, form a habitat for lots of life, so it's just the way it is. Anyway, moving on. Moving on from that. I don't know why I've stopped here, so don't ask me why. Oh, go on then. Ask me why. Okay, I just said I don't know. No. There's these sort of, I think they're old bits of fence, weirdly enough, or something, or boardwalk or something that are just on the floor here. And there's a little group of silver birch in the background. And yeah, I think it looks quite nice. It's the first time I've had the camera in portrait orientation today, but you know, just quite like the juxtaposition, if you like, you know, of the man-made wood and the natural wood in the background. The only thing I've got to be careful of is there's a little bit of nothing going on in the midground, so I might have to just lower the field of view a little bit just to cut out some of that midground, because it's a little bit too much I think in where I am at the moment. So yeah, I'll probably lower that a bit and see if I can cut a bit out, and yeah, see if the shot looks all right. Who knows. So I've come out into this little clearing here, and it feels like there's so much you can take, and you can become a little bit overwhelmed, I think. So I'm probably going to call it a day, I think, after this little section here. There's some ferns behind me that are discoloured, that are absolutely beautiful. So I've done a little sort of abstracty close-up one of that with a couple of the silver birches in the background, dropped out of focus. And then over on sort of to my left here, there's a couple of interesting trees with a bit of a clearing. I'm not sure about that one, to be honest with you. I've got the longer lens on now, and I've sort of zoomed in on that. But yeah, I'm not 100%, because I don't actually have a polarizer on me. And there's a little bit of glare coming off some of the ferns, which I may have to dull down in post. But yeah, you know what, it's been a really, really beautiful day. It's been really good fun. I've had a really good time, and yeah, this is just a place to visit over and over again, I think, and it's only like an hour away from my house, so you know, what's not to like about it? It's absolutely fantastic. Anyway, probably going to call it a day here. Hope you've enjoyed the vlog, and yeah, until next time, thanks for watching, and I'll see you again soon.